There was once a giant. The giant had green leaves for hair, stone for skin, and bark for armour. She was a kindly giant. Most giants are. And the town adored her. Or rather, most of the town. The man who lived in the big house hated the giant. Giants were dangerous and strange. And as long as the giant was around to protect the townspeople, he could not force them to work in his big house as servants. So it was he that decided to kill the giant. Killing a giant is no easy thing. But the man was cunning. He lured the giant out of the town to the top of a great hill. "Madam Giant," he said, "I have found the most remarkable insect. It has wings like sapphires, eyes like emeralds, and legs like gossamer thread. It sits on the stem of this flower here." The giant loved animals, and she wished to see this beautiful insect that the man had discovered. But she was so tall that she could not see such a small thing. "I cannot see it," said the giant. "Bend down and you shall see it," said the man. The giant bent so low her face nearly touched the flower, and the man drew his sword and cut off the giant's head with a single stroke, for her neck was now close enough for him to reach. The man went back to the town. "The giant is dead. Now you must all obey me," he said, and he forced the people to work in his big house and give him the money from their farms and so on. Years passed, and the descendants of the man ruled the town as it changed from a place of farms to a place of factories. But every year, on the day that the giant had died, the townspeople met in secret and told stories about her, hoping she would hear and return. One day, the descendant of the man who had killed the giant was sitting in his office when he heard shouting from the factory he owned, and he ran to see what it was. The machines were moving by themselves, swirling and twisting into the shape of an enormous human. It was a giant, but not a giant of earth and stone. Instead, a giant of iron and steel. The man wasted no time. He climbed to the top of the highest smokestack in the factory, and the moment the giant's head formed, he cut it clean off with his sword. The metal head fell to the ground, and the man cheered. But then the giant's body twisted and swirled again, and a new head emerged. "But I cut off your head," said the man. "A giant's head regrows eventually. My mother was made of bark and leaves, so it will take centuries for her. But I am made of machines, and machines can be fixed much quicker than it takes to regrow a felled tree." And so the terrified factory owner, the last descendant of the man from the big house who had cut off the head of the first giant, ran away. The townspeople cheered, but the giant spoke sadly. "I must leave and seek my mother and protect her while she regrows. I am sorry, but keep my old head. Place it in the centre of your town, and if you ever need help, simply come and whisper in my old head, and I will return." And so it is that the giant's head came to be in the centre of our town, where it still sits today. Now you all know how we have a giant's head outside the library.